Hi everyone, I'm Olivia. I'm interning with Counseling Services for the semester, and today I'm going to be talking to you about mental blocks that athletes deal with. So, mental blocks are the most frustrating hurdles for athletes to overcome. What makes them so challenging is because athletes know that they have the ability to perform a skill that they've done before, but they're having trouble performing it again. So, I'm going to give you some signs of mental blocks to recognize if you may be struggling. So, um, the first one is inconsistent performance. There's a cycle between playing well and playing poorly, and it's caused by psychological factors and not physical. Um, so you might feel like one day you're playing really well, and then the next day you're playing poorly, and you kind of just go through that cycle, and it's obviously messing up your mental game. Um, Another sign of a mental block is playing timid and afraid to make mistakes while you're playing. And the biggest mental block is fear of failure, which can come from setting high, unrealistic expectations. And oftentimes, athletes will think if they don't play well, their team will lose. And usually, this pressure causes them to perform more poorly unless the athlete has a strong mental game. Um, there's times when you're practicing better at practice than you're playing in a game. And usually this is because at practice you aren't expecting an outcome. You're just kind of relaxed and not necessarily stressed. Whereas in a game, you're expecting the outcome of winning, which can cause you stress. And usually sometimes stress causes you to play more poorly. Um, there's oftentimes when there's an avoidance of practice or games, when anxiety takes over before a game, you might not want to go to the game because you're just feeling so anxious. Um, Extreme distress can stem from bad experience in a game or with a certain team that you're playing against, and you might not want to go because you don't want to face that team. There's fear of embarrassment, fear of not living up to expectations. You don't want to make mistakes, and your mind tricks you into thinking it's easier to avoid the situation than to face it and try to overcome it. Um, Sometimes athletes can get overly emotional or easily frustrated and can be referred to as a hothead because it's easy for them to get angry at any mistake, small or large. They usually demand perfection for themselves and they won't take anything less. And they struggle to move past their mistakes and play in the present moment. Um, so, some ways that you can overcome these mental blocks or try to overcome them is to first focus on having fun, because usually oftentimes athletes will begin playing sport because they enjoy it and it's fun for them, but then if they start to feel too much pressure from the sport, then they often don't enjoy it anymore and it kind of feels more like a job, so it's just not fun for them anymore. You can also try to make practices more game like, so practicing skills that are likely for you to perform in a game, you can practice them at practice. So when the time comes in a game, it just comes naturally to you and you don't really have to overthink what you're about to do because you've practiced it a bunch of times. So you should be confident in your ability to execute it. Um, Athletes can try mindfulness and breathing techniques. Mindfulness can help increase focus, confidence, consistency. It is great for those who have trouble letting go of mistakes, and become overly emotional. And it helps train the brain to be more present in the moment. And once you complete mindfulness, it can help improve physical skills. Um, and if some of these, there are more techniques out there, but if you're still having trouble with mental blocks and you're seeing no change, you can always reach out to a professional. Um, Athletes often quit sports because of their struggle with performance and lack of enjoyment. So, seeing a professional can help overcome these barriers and help you have better control over performance. There are lots of mental performance coaches that are all over. Some of them offer online trainings, just like there's podcasts for them. There's one mental performance coach, Brian Cain, who I was doing some research about, and he offers courses for athletes to enroll in to help them with their mental performance. So there's a 3-day course that he offers on his website that is free, that helps you develop 3 strategies for an elite mindset that can give you the advantage over the competition, helping you focus on the outcome, can actually decrease your chances of success. So helping you change your focus on game situations, and how to value what is in your control versus what isn't, along with consistency. So, and his strategies have been used by thousands of elite performers and top athletes worldwide. So if you are interested in learning more about it, his website is briancain.com, and you can find all that information on there. There are also other mental performance coaches that I'm sure do a lot of the same stuff. So if you're interested in learning more about that stuff is all online. If you are struggling with mental blocks and you would like to talk to somebody, counseling services is available. It is free and confidential. We're located it's on the first floor of Ulmer. So once you go in the main door, you really go down to the first floor. We're back there in the corner. You can schedule an appointment by email, call, or stop in and make an appointment with the secretary. We also have Instagram and Facebook. And so if you are interested in learning more about counseling services, you can look for that stuff. There's also information on D2L and the Lock Haven website. So that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed learning about mental blocks and ways to overcome them, and learning about a mental performance coach. Maybe that can be helpful to you if you are struggling with a mental block. So thanks again for watching, and have a good rest of your day.